Welcome back to Explain America. This is your host, Kyle Becker. We have another insane radical leftist judge making an absolutely absurd ruling. This is an insane decision. And once again, this low-life scumbag, MS-13 gang member, who we have talked way too much about, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, is, well, temporarily reprieved from being sent to Uganda. But it's not really his case that is the most important thing about this story. It's just another Democrat-appointed judge issuing an insane ruling. And this person has no business being in the judicial circuit. So anyways, we'll give you the details about this. But before we do, please like, share, and comment at Explain America. Join us. We appreciate your support for common sense journalism. Now, a federal judge on Friday ordered a hearing into whether the criminal case against Kilmar Abrego Garcia was a result of a vindictive prosecution, finding there's some evidence that it was. Well, before we get into this, what about the vindictive prosecutions of J6ers who were guilty of trespassing on federal property on J6? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Well, let's go to the ruling. U.S. District Judge Waverly Crenshaw in Tennessee noted that the investigation into Abrego was reopened shortly after he successfully challenged the U.S. Supreme Court what the Trump administration acknowledged was his mistaken deportation to a prison in El Salvador. And that was the only limitation of where he can be deported because he had a standing deportation order. He is set to be removed from this country. And that was actually earlier this week that stood up. So this was even after an earlier ruling this week that said Kilmar Abrego Garcia was set to be deported. Well, this alleged investigation came after numerous administration officials, including AG Pam Bondi, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, had accused Abrego of being guilty of numerous crimes and being a gang member and a terrorist. Well, the judge, who was nominated by President Barack Obama, said Abrego's claims also appear to be supported by the timing of the reopening of the criminal investigation, which had started the result of a traffic stop in 2022 and was deemed to be closed in March of this year. And then Abrego was subsequently released without charges. However, we showed you the video camera surveillance of the stop that they are talking about in this, and it's clear that this was a specially outfitted vehicle for human trafficking. Apparently, NBC News missed that little nugget in their report on Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Well, this MS-13 gang member has become a cause celebrity in the Democratic Party. They love him. They've had cocktails with him. He's the toast of the town for human trafficking and, you know, whatever God knows MS-13 gang members actually have to do to be in that gang. But apparently, you know, we've seen this over and over again. Democrats don't care if somebody's a criminal. They don't care if they're a gang member. Look at Antifa. They don't care if they're terrorist members. They don't really care at all about the American people. And I want you to look at all of these cases through that lens, if you don't already, because the Democratic Party, they really stand for nothing except for power, and they will use criminal activity, terrorist activity, hate speech, if, you know, I'm not saying you should be charged for it, but hateful speech. They demonize, they lie, they obfuscate, they steal from taxpayers and set up slush funds. They're absolutely corrupt. Look at Pelosi. They engage in insider trading. It goes on and on. So they act like a gang themselves. They act like a mafia. So, of course, MS-13 gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia, he's like a role model for them, apparently. So, yeah. Well, the Trump administration, in my opinion, should deport him to Uganda and ignore this judge and then impeach him when he tries to do something about it. So that's just my opinion. Weigh in with your own. Thank you for watching Explain America. Please weigh in with your comments. We always appreciate you watching and your support.